Welcome, wrestling fans. We are right outside New York City for Ring of Honor's biggest show yet, Glory by Honor 3. It is me, Sugar Sean Price, welcoming you here for the in-the-ring debut of none other than Mick Foley. What's he doing here? Nobody knows yet. We will find out soon enough. But right now, I'm here with the Ring Crew Express, Dun and Marcos. Unfortunately, because Marcos hurt his back at Scramble Cage Melee in Boston, he's not competing tonight, but he's here in spirit. So guys, tell me, how are you feeling right now, knowing you're not going to be competing on this great big show?
You know what? I'm a little hurt, but that's not going to stop Dun and Marcos from rocking like a hurricane in 2004.
But guys,
poor babies, are you hurt? Would you like a back rub? Would that make you feel better? Please, come on. That's right. Look at these losers.
Hey, you filthy hoe. You better watch what you say, because we're not going to take it anymore.
That was a good one.
Whoa, guys, knock this off. Seriously.
Knock what off?
We gotta go and get ready for our matches tonight. I'm sick and tired. Listen! I'm sick and tired of losing. The streak ends tonight. We're gonna finally win one. Come on, let's go. Just shut up and let's go. Come on, go.
I lost my underwear.
You're just gonna let him call me that. What is wrong with you? Come on. No. Izzy.
folks, as you see, Special K's riled up. Dun and Marcos is ready to go. We're going to have one great show tonight, so let's go to Glory by Honor 3.
Welcome to Glory by Honor 3. The date is September 11th. We're here at the Plex, the home of Ring of Honor, right outside of New York City in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And we're about to kick things off with Dixie of Special K against the centerpiece of the embassy, Jimmy Rave. And I am Jimmy Bauer, joined by the one and only CM Punk.
How you doing, Jimmy Bauer? Unfortunately, Mark Nutley couldn't be joined with you here today because his grandma was involved in a horrible parasailing accident.
What are you talking about?
I read it. It was in the Newswire. And here we go. Nice lockup by Dixie and Jimmy Rave, followed by an arm drag.
I do have to say, Punk, it is a pleasure to be sitting next to you. And a year ago at Glory by Honor 2, I would not have said that. That was a night that he tried to cripple Terry Funk. And since that time, you have saved Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Kind of changed your tune a little bit. And it's great to be sitting next to you calling this huge event featuring the debut of Mick Foley.
Hey, I'm the same old punker, Bauer, but somebody who's actually trying to change their ways is everybody in Special K, not just Dixie. Dixie, the makeshift leader of this bunch of kids, and they've been on a tremendously one-sided losing streak, and Dixie trying to stop that here right tonight.
And he has tough competition with Jimmy Rave, who has a lot of confidence instilled in him now by Prince Nana. As you see, wow, there's a nice spinning combination. And Dixie,
Crucifix by Dixie.
beautifully done by Dixie.
First match, and we got action almost too quick to call, except that one was a clothesline.
Very nicely done by Jimmy Rave. He took a little bit of a hiatus. Prince Nana sent him to one of his palaces in Africa, and I heard that Jimmy Rave was treated like royalty there with rub-downs, being fed grapes, and just getting the first-class treatment from all of Prince Nana's servants.
Do the Outcast Killers get that treatment as well?
I think that they're more in the servant role, it seems like. Prince Nana really abusing those two, but they're doing whatever it takes to get off the ring crew, including being in Jimmy Rave's corner tonight.
So the Outcast Killers were peeling and feeding Jimmy Rave's grapes and then giving him rub-downs.
I don't even think they got that plane ticket to Africa.
I think
stuck here.
I think Dixie needs a rub-down right about now. Down below, as Jimmy Rave plants two boots squarely in the lower nutsack region.
There's a cover. Paul Turner with a 2 count. You see various Special K members at ringside. It is interesting to note that Izzy and his girlfriend Lacey are not there at ringside. However, there is Becky and the returning deranged Cheech. Cloudy, I believe, is out there trying to support Dixie, trying to change the losing ways of Special K.
With all these people at ringside, it almost looks like a retarded boxing match. You got all these corner men. Quite a cast of characters we have here in the first match of Ring of Honor.
I don't think that was politically correct, but neither was that Russian leg sweep, but it was beautifully done right into a submission hold, and that confidence is definitely paying off for Jimmy Rave. Jimmy Rave, he Dixie has taken the Styles Clash, renamed it the Rave Clash, and he claims that he invented that move, and that is just insulting to AJ Styles.
Who? Wasn't it? What are you talking about? I think it was always the Rave Clash.
Well, Dixie right now is unleashing on Jimmy Rave. He is not just going to lay down.
Nice Uranagi suplex by Rave. Now, you call him more confident, and I call him, I don't know, he's got a bad attitude. He rubs a lot of people the wrong way now.
Well, I don't like the new Jimmy Rave, I will admit that. Prince Nana definitely has brought out the cocky side of him.
Jimmy used to be a good kid. Now he's crummy and no good.
I tell you what, Prince Nana is definitely building a strong force with his embassy, something to keep an eye on. Prince Nana even claims that Mick Foley is going to join the embassy tonight. We don't know why Mick Foley's in Ring of Honor. We're going to find out later when he makes his debut here. But Prince Nana insists that he's going to be part of the embassy. But right now there's a nice swinging DDT by Dixie. Let's see if he can follow up. And there you see that aggressiveness pounding Jimmy Rave, peppering him with those chops, and Dixie's feeling it.
He's going nuts. You know, maybe that beating that Roderick Strong gave him a couple months ago really beat some sense into him. He wants to win.
He needs that win, and there's a cover. Only a 2 count.
You know, you mentioned Mick Foley joining the embassy. You know, I think I might join the embassy if I get grapes and rub downs and stuff. Free trip to Africa, anybody? What's up?
Right now, Dixie is unloading on Jimmy Rave. Let's see if he can score the win here.
Knee to the midsection.
Ooh, and that'll change momentum right there. We got a cover.
Very nice suplex. I'm going to call that a water wheel suplex.
And Jimmy Rave looks surprised that Dixie was able to kick out. There you see Becky letting her support.
Becky gives great support, I heard. Jimmy Rave firmly in control of this match right now.
What about Marcos calling Lacey a hoe before it?
That was great.
Becky seemed to enjoy that too. And there's another 2 count for Dixie.
Small package.
No, once again Jimmy Rave kicks out. That's Dixie doing everything he can to try to secure that win.
He's arguing with Paul Turner, but Paul Turner was in good position.
And once Prince Nana's on the mic, and you can tell that distracted Dixie, and there's a Shining Wizard.
Running knee, Bauer. Come on, what do you get paid for here? You get paid for here. Here it is. I said it earlier. It's the Rave Clash.
And it gets Jimmy Rave the win. And you know what? Prince Nana once again getting on the mic. We saw him do that in Boston a few weeks ago and then distracted Angel Dust, allowing Jimmy Rave to hit the Rave Clash. And once again it has happened. And Jimmy Rave scores another win for the embassy.
Shut up! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing next to the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Samoa Joe. Joe, we're at Glory by Honor 3. You've always owned this event.
Gary Michael Capetta, you couldn't be more right. You see, let me give you a little bit of a history lesson about Glory by Honor. At Glory by Honor 1 in 2002, I made my debut in this company, and I left a mark. You see, I participated in one of the most brutal matches in the history of the sport. At Glory by Honor 2, I faced the great Christopher Daniels. And despite what critics said, I still walked away the Ring of Honor World Champion. And tonight here at Glory by Honor 3, I face Doug Williams. And tonight, Gary Michael Capetta, we have one goal. And that's to solidify me as the most dominant pro wrestling champion in the industry today.
Well, you mentioned Doug Williams, and of course, he was selected to be your opponent by the pure champion, John Walters. Who do you select for John Walters to face tonight?
Gary Michael Capetta, you see, I didn't choose an opponent for John Walters tonight simply for one reason. Ring of Honor officials, you know I have a stranglehold on my belt. You know that there's nobody in the foreseeable future who can take my belt away from me. So what do? We create a pure title, a cute title with a kitschy set of rules, and we throw it to the boys to keep them satiated, to keep them happy, because they know no matter how hard they try, no matter how much they train, the Ring of Honor World title will always be mine. So as far as John Walters goes and who he can face, I don't care who you face, John Walters, because the bottom line is I don't care about your silly belt.
Strong words, confident words by the champ. Just one more question, something a little different. How did it feel, or how does it feel that you have a loss to Homicide?
Gary.
Joe, just curious.
I know you're just curious. Gary, we're not here to talk about Homicide. The Homicide chapter in Ring of Honor for me has long since closed. Do you understand, Gary?
I understand.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Gary, tonight it's about me and Doug Williams. As far as Homicide goes, well, as you know, I'll worry about that when I get my shot at.
Okay, I have never seen the champ more intense. Everybody, let's go back to the ring. More action.
All right, cut.
I'm out of here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's all you got? You're not ready. You're not ready. Think it's a game, man? Think just because you've been impressive, because you've been showing a little bit more fire, that you're doing something around here? What'd I tell you last time we were here? You wanted to be like a champion, right? Get ready. If you don't get ready and you lose tonight, you're out of here. You're out of here. You're done. Now, are you ready?
Yeah.
Striker. He likes to use ankle lock. Here's how you beat him. And you're gonna need this. Just get the camera here. Come on.
We now have a very important night in the careers of Jay Lethal and Matt Striker. The loser of this match will pay dire consequences. If Striker loses, he will no longer get a plane ticket to the East Coast shows. If Jay Lethal loses, he will be dropped from the ROH roster perhaps until about spring of next year. Lethal has looked impressive but has not scored any victories, and Striker has kind of been in a slump lately, and it's all about the wins here in ROH. Striker Stryker knows that, and he's getting aggressive right off the bat.
Man, did you see the contempt on Stryker's face he has for these East Coast fans?
Well, I mean, these fans are the ones that are going to cost him that plane ticket if he does not win.
They've been riding Stryker for months, almost as hard as Stryker's riding Jay Lethal right now.
Stryker's not going to be denied.
Ooh, clothesline right under the chin.
Jay Lethal has been close to scoring big victories against, well, you see him, Punk, against the likes of Alex Shelley.
Close, but no cigar.
That is correct, and it's all about the wins here. It's all about keeping your spots.
Up and over. Nice backflip by Jay Lethal. Another duck.
And right there, a glancing super kick, and for a 2 count. But as I said, the competition is fierce for all the spots here in ROH, especially when you have guys like Generation Next taking spots, when you have guys like Jack Collier, Nigel McGuinness competing for spots. So you have to win, and if you don't, you're going to get dropped from the roster, and that's what both Lethal and Stryker are faced with right here.
Nice gut-wrench suplex by Jay Lethal in the blue, who was actually scouted by Generation Next a couple months ago, but turned him down, which is actually a very smart move by him. Generation Next rub a lot of people the wrong way in the locker room.
Jay Lethal says he wants to do it on his own. He wants to earn it. He doesn't want to take any shortcuts like he did when he was a member of Special K. Gary Moore with another 2 count. And you know what? What really turned Jay Lethal around was when ROH World Champion Samoa Joe took him under his wing, started giving him some advice. And we saw that earlier tonight.
Tell him how to avoid the ankle lock, but right now we got a roll up. He has enough strength left in the tank to kick out there.
Who knows what other advice Samoa Joe gave him? Joe's defeated Matt Stryker on a couple of occasions.
Coach Joe shows you what this kid means to Joe. He sees something in the youngster, and he doesn't want to see him lose a spot on the roster.
Samoa Joe was the one that broke him away from Special K and told him to get serious. And I'll give Jay Lethal all the credit in the world that he took that advice. And he's even impressed the likes of, oh no, we got another cover. These guys going for the win right away.
Yes, both men going for frequent covers in this. And Stryker just gaining an advantage of the leg lariat. That was lethal. No pun intended, of course.
Jay Lethal even almost scored a victory over 2 Cold Scorpio in that 4-corner survival, but was denied in that one at the hands of Alex Shelley.
Nice lariat by Jay Lethal. Gaining an advantage. Another pin attempt. See, both men know it's at stake. This could be the end of somebody's Ring of Honor career.
I mean, it really doesn't get any more crucial than that. You talk about it, how important title matches are, or grudge matches, but this is about a job. This is about a paycheck. This is about future bookings.
That'll make guys fight like dogs. You know, not that Jay Lethal and Matt Stryker aren't impressive athletes. The Ring of Honor brass are very high on these gentlemen. It's just based on wins and losses, you know, especially Jay Lethal. He's very impressive, very well liked. Like to have the kid around, but he needs to garner a win.
That's how stiff the competition here in ROH is, as these two are unleashing huge chops on each other. Wow, did you hear that? And look at Stryker going to the eyes. That was desperation from Stryker.
It certainly was.
Stryker now unloading some knees to the back, pulling out some new moves here, and puts Lethal down with a big boot to the face. And Stryker's fired up, he can feel it.
What's with that, or whatever that is on the back of his face? Oh, here we go, ankle lock.
And he's got that stitched in. Let's see if Lethal's gonna tap. This also softens up the leg for the Stryker lock.
And you know that's what he's going for.
Lethal has to get to the ropes, and Stryker pulling him right back into the middle of the ring. And what's Lethal doing? He's got him.
Nice inside cradle by Jay Lethal. Referee Gary Moore right there for the 3 count.
And Jay Lethal saves his job in ROH. Matt Stryker, you're not going to see him on the East Coast very much in the future. Wow, it doesn't get any bigger than that. an exciting match going today. No tags needed. 2 people in the ring. When someone leaves, someone else can just come in, and the first fall wins it. We have Angel Dust and Fast Eddie starting it out. Cahagas making his ROH debut from the Full Impact Pro promotion in Florida. Izzy, Ace Steel, and Trent Acid, who claims to be the king of the multi-person matches, on the outside.
And you know, Ace Steel is the Sausage King of Chicago. So we got 2 kings in this match.
What's a sausage king?
It's Ace. That's what he is.
Your fellow Second City Same member. Right now, though, we have Angel Dust, who once again is trying to break that losing streak that's still continuing for Special K. Dixie coming up short earlier tonight.
Fast Eddie coming up on the wrong end of a Hurricane Rana by Angel Dust. 2 members of Special K.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of 2 members of Special K in this one. Fast Eddie did hurt himself in that Scramble Cage melee last show, but he's better now, and he's not going to be better after that. Angel Dust coming off the top right on Eddie.
Is that a double stomp?
I think it was absolutely brutal. And right now we have Cahagas and Ace Steel unleashing.
Get him.
They are unleashing the heavy artillery in this one. Reversal by Cahagas, reversal by Ace.
Wheelbarrow into a bulldog onto the knee. Come on, Ace.
Nicely done by Cahagas.
He's throwing those knee strikes.
And this crowd getting on these guys. Cahagas missing the kick. And Ace Steel scores with that drop kick right to the chin. And Cahagas, look at that, he's not backing down, he's not intimidated. And this is perhaps the biggest crowd Cahagas has ever wrestled in front of.
But doesn't he know Ace is crazy? Oh! Izzy in the hard way.
And Cahagas using Izzy as a weapon, but Izzy getting caught in a power slam there. And Trent Acid takes advantage, and so does Fast Eddie.
How does Fast Eddie see anybody? Isn't he legally blind?
He is legally blind. He can see shapes and forms, though, and he did not see that forearm coming. Trent Acid almost winning Scramble Cage melee. What a spectacle that was on the last show. And he suffered injury in that one, and he's doing a little bit better now, but still banged up.
Wait a minute.
We have Special K members fighting in there. What's with that? And Lacey is cheering on her man Izzy. You see her on the outside there.
Yeah, I see her. Wow. Izzy goes airborne. I didn't call that one, Bauer.
That was a lot of hang time right there from Izzy. Perhaps Lacey put a little extra spring in his step. And Fast Eddie better watch out for Trent Acid. Acid up and over. Blocks. Beautifully done by Acid as he takes out everybody.
Speaking of taking out everybody, Bauer, I got to take out Austin Aries next. So I'm going to split. Let me know who wins. And I got $20 on Ace.
All right, CM Punk, I'm looking forward to that one. That's Fast Eddie climbing to the top rope. And he scores. I thought everyone was putting it on the line at Scramble Cage melee. They're really putting it on the line right here in this 6-man mayhem at Glory by Honor 3. The Rexplex has become the Madison Square Garden for ROH, and that's why you see these guys put it all on the line like this. And now, look at this, we got Izzy and Angel Dust, the Special K members fighting in the ring. Definite dissension within the ranks of Special K. We got some back and forth action. Ooh. And it's lightning quick. Both men very familiar with each other. And there's Angel Dust blocking the Hurricanrana into an electric chair. Trent Acid making the save. That's the thing about these 6-man mayhem matches. You have to make sure no one's around if you go for a pinfall submission, or someone will make that save. Every man for himself. The first fall wins it. And Cahagas with a stunner type move, beautifully done. That brings Ace Steel back into the ring as Trent Acid rolls out. High knee there by Ace. head. Cover! And Fast Eddie somehow seeing the pinfall. And look, Lacey, she's just concerned with Izzy on the outside. And Fast Eddie scoring on a steal.
Would you stop?
And there's Lacey treating her man. She's really bringing turmoil into Special K. That's Fast Eddie setting up for her here. Lance Angel Dust on the top rope. Perhaps that fallaway slam. We saw him do this from the top of the scramble cage. Trent Acido cutting it off. Uh-oh, I don't like the looks of this. Someone's gonna break their neck. And that reverse Hurricanrana could break a neck there too. And Ace Steel in a desperation save. I think you have a lot of guys that might be a non-factor in this one now. It might come down to Ace and Izzy. Izzy going up top. Ace cutting him off though. Remember the Second City Saints has Izzy hooked. Final shot from the top rope. No pinfall attempt as Cahagan stumps Ace Steel on his head. Oh, and Cahagan's almost scored the upset. Is Trent Aston the king of the multi-person match? He just hit Cahagan with a Yakuza kick, and it's now Fast Eddie and Angel Dust. And a backbreaker by Angel Dust. Can he break the losing streak? Acid takes him now. Oh, spikes him on his head. No one's around. And Trent Acid backs up his words and proves he is the king of the multi-person match. What a victory for Acid. What action from Six-Man Mayhem.
Before I dispose of CM Punk tonight, I would like to, on behalf of Generation Next, ask Mick Foley to bring that sack of doorknobs he calls an ass down to this ring right now and face a true wrestler one-on-one. I mean, come on, Mick, you're a good sideshow. You're a good freak show. You do all the hardcore stuff. But come face me. I'm all alone out here. Come face me one-on-one. Well, it's obviously Mick Foley knows he can't handle a true wrestling machine. Let's see if CM Punk can. Bring his ass out here.
are set for a grudge match. CM Punk offering his hand to Austin Aries. Of course, Austin Aries isn't going to shake it. It's the Second City Saints against Generation Next, and we're underway. Todd Sinclair is your referee. So much has happened in the past few shows between these factions. The attack in Chicago, the attacks in Boston. Colt Cabana on the shelf, out of action as a result of Austin Aries and the rest of Generation Next. Now CM Punk is coming for revenge. Generation Next have been running rampant here in ROH, trying to take all the top spots, and now they have targeted the Second City Saints. And of course, the leader of the Saints is CM Punk, and he gets an early advantage on Austin Aries, taking him off his feet. Austin Aries trying to spin around, turns the tables on Punks, and comes up with an arm. Real quick, we gotta pay the bills. ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500 for all your wrestling merchandise needs. Much more than Ring of Honor DVDs and videotapes and shirts there, as there's the Straight Shooting series, which are shoot interviews with some of the biggest names, including Mick Foley, Too Cold Scorpio, Kamala, and many, many others. Plus, lots of DVDs from other wrestling promotions, t-shirts, hard-to-find wrestling figures, and much, much more. ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500 as Punk works on the arm of Aries. And something I also have to comment on, I mentioned Straight Shooting with Mick Foley. Austin Aries calling out Mick Foley as Generation Next has made it clear they want to make their name at Foley's expense. Foley, though, is still yet to come out. Prince Nana earlier saying that Foley was going to be a member of the embassy. Foley not coming out there. Nana even going so far as to say that Foley had butterflies, and that's pretty ridiculous. When are we going to see Mick Foley tonight, and what's he here in Ring of Honor for? I guess we'll just have to stay tuned to find out, as CM Punk is working on that arm of Austin Aries. No, that would be pretty ironic if he injured the arm of Austin Aries, since it was Aries who put Colt Cabana out of action last show in Boston by doing a 450 off the top rope on the injured arm and shoulder of Cabana that was wedged in between chairs. There's no telling how long Cabana's going to be out. As Aries keeps trying to nip up, Punk keeps knocking him down. CM Punk, an obvious strategy in this one to go after the arm of Austin Aries in the early going. Aries, though, is shaking off. It's going to take a lot more than that to make Austin Aries give. Punk now scoops up Aries. This could easily dislocate a shoulder. And Punk has Aries down. Cover. 2 count only. Of course, last time at the Rex Plex, Reborn completion, CM Punk and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat going at it. Generation Next jumping Steamboat, trying to make their name at Steamboat's expense, and CM Punk came to Steamboat's aid. Very shocking development there, a must-see, and something that I'm proud to have occurred here in Ring of Honor. Aries now turned things around on Punk. Punk now, he has the arm in a hammerlock. Todd Sinclair right on top of the action to see if Aries wants to give. Punk going to work on the arm. Once again, I mentioned earlier about the Generation Next. They don't follow the Code of Honor. They don't shake hands. Right now, the Code of Honor has been changed, as many of you know. It's made up of 3 laws of honor now, and it's not a requirement, as Punk taking over Aries into a headlock. The 3 laws of honor are: shake your opponent's hands before and after the match. Now, you only do this if you respect your opponent, if you respect the match that they're about to give you or that they just gave you. Also, respect the officials and keep the playing field fair and level. That means no outside interference, no using foreign objects, nothing like that. And CM Punk very tenacious, hanging on to the arm of Aries as Aries backs him into the corner. Todd Sinclair calling for a break. Aries monkey flips Punk out of the corner. Punk, though, still hanging on to that arm. And Aries is getting to the point where he has to mount some offense soon. Punk wrenches that arm again. Big chop. Another one. Punk takes over Aries. He's trying to get that arm bar, but Aries is blocking it. We have about 1,000 fans here outside of New York City at the Plex enjoying this show. As Aries gets out of the hold, Punk right back up. This time Aries takes him down to cover. Only a 2 count. And Punk now has that arm and is lighting up Aries with those kicks. Takes Aries down. I did mention we were outside of New York City. It is September 11th, a very emotional night. We had a very emotional tribute to those victims of the World Trade Towers before the show. There was a lot of teary eyes in the ring as the locker room emptied to salute those people. The whole crowd here very respectful on their feet. That was something I'll never forget that happened before this show. Very, very special night here. And Aries misses a drop kick. And Punk comes right back with the arm. The Second City Saints, of course, are short-handed tonight. Ace Steel is here. Colt Cabana on the shelf with an injury. And it looks like CM Punk is trying to even the odds a little bit by causing an injury to Austin Aries as he is just tenacious going after the arm. And Aries scores a 2 count. And he's right back to the arm. Now he twists that arm, wrenches it. Drives that elbow into the joint with the shoulder, trying to get Aries off his feet. Aries rolls through and scores with the drop kick this time. Punk is dazed. Aries right with a missile drop kick right to the face of CM Punk, and the leader of the Second City Saints is in trouble. But Aries misses that drop kick. Punk too quick for him. Aries can't go the distance. He proved that with that 75-minute match against Bryan Danielson at Testing the Limits. Aries can do it all. Big drop kick through the ropes. Punk takes that steel barricade. Let's see what Aries can follow up with. He is going to the floor now. Following Punk. Kick right to the midsection. Aries proved in that Danielson match he can absorb a lot of punishment. Unbelievable win for Austin Aries, and now one Testing the Limits, an absolute must-see. A follow-up to the Survival of the Fittest classic he had with Danielson. What a rivalry we have there. As Punk cuts off Austin on the way up, on the way in with those knees. Punk going right back to the arm of Austin Aries. Once again, Punk wrenching the arm. Now he scores with a dropkick of his own. Aries to the floor. And Aries right now, he might want to take a moment and try to devise a new strategy for himself. Nothing seems to be working for Austin Aries at Generation Next in this one. Todd Sinclair trying to keep Punk in the ring. But Punk soars to the outside. Oh, and Aries just pulled that steel barricade into Punk. Punk landing hard. And Punk is down. Sinclair checking on him. And the momentum is definitely in the favor of Austin Aries and Generation Next. Aries will be aggressive here. You can count on that. Let's see what he's got in mind. He pulls Punk up by the hair. Big forearm. Punk hanging on for his life. Another big forearm. Punk still trying to hang on. One more time and Punk sprawls to the floor. Aries can fly, and there he goes. He glanced Punk with that. He might have done more damage to himself than he did with Punk. Both men are down on the floor. Of course, no countouts in ROH, but you can be DQ'd if you're out there for too long. It'll take a long time, though, for them to be on the floor for Todd Sinclair to agree for a DQ in this kind of match. Aries, he's proving his toughness once again. Now he slingshots himself in with that swanton and scores this time. And soars with an elbow. Good for a 2 count. Aries, you can tell that arm is definitely hurting him. It's definitely affected him in this match. Big kick to the ribs of Punk. And look at that. Punk is definitely in pain. As he's pulling himself into the corner, trying to get a moment to breathe. Austin Aries all over him, though. Aries delivers a knee into the ribs. Links Punk corner to corner. Falls in with a big shoulder block. And now he's stretching Punk in the ropes. That's illegal. Todd Sinclair is going to call for a break. Aries taking full advantage of that 5 count. Aries follows up with another blow to the ribs. 2 count. Aries now has the momentum going. Punk doing everything he can to fight back, going after that arm, the weak point of Austin Aries, but Aries goes right back to the ribs, which is now the weak point on CM Punk. And when you go after the ribs, that makes it hard to breathe, and that is exactly what Punk is experiencing right now. Every breath that goes in and out of the lungs of CM Punk is causing him pain. Austin Aries, though, meanwhile, is really bothered by that arm. Punk fighting back, showing heart, showing courage, just like we saw when he saved Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Oh, but Aries right back to the ribs and a DDT. Cover! 2 count only. Both men getting more and more worn down in this one. Both men have proven they can go to the limit. Punk went 60 minutes against Samoa Joe at World Title Classic. Aries now scores. Cover. 2 count only. Punk once again going into the corner, trying to buy himself some time. Aries, though, once again aggressive. Once again. And he is just lighting up Punk. Punk reverses it. Aries sends him up and over. Punk with a strike to the head. Another one. Oh, Aries goes right back to the ribs. Aries now pulling Punk onto the top rope. Perhaps he's thinking of going for a superplex. Austin Aries can do it all. Fly, wrestle. And he's going for a high impact move here. Punk fighting off as best he can. Shoves Aries off. Punk scores with that drop kick. Can he follow up? Punk's having a hard time breathing. Both men are down. Todd Sinclair administering the count. Who will get to their feet first, or will we have a double knockout? And it looks like Austin Aries. Let's see if, no. Punk takes Aries around. Big mule kick. And an enziguri. Aries is down. Cover. Only a 2 count. It takes a lot to defeat a man like Austin Aries. Shining Wizard blocked, but Aries had to block it with that injured arm, and he hurt it in the process. Punk going right after the arm, trying to force Aries down off his feet, and he has Aries down. He's got that Fujiwara armbar wrenched in. Aries might have to tap. That arm is definitely injured. The pain is racing through the arm of Austin Aries. He needs to get to the ropes. He's trying with that foot. And there it is. Todd Sinclair calling for the break. That was just about the only thing that could save Austin Aries. Big shot by Punk. Aries now takes Punk. Oh, knee right to the ribs. Slams him down. There's that Austin Aries power elbow cover. 2 counts. CM Punk somehow kicking out. Can Aries finally put Punk away here? Generation X against Second City Saints. Who's the top faction in ROH? Punk going after the arm. Aries rolls through. Brainbuster by Aries. Cover. This is it. Punk somehow getting the hard courage to kick out. Aries signaling for that 450. It'll be all over if he hits this. No, Punk Flame Possum jumps up, cuts Aries off. Aries in trouble on the top. Punk's got him hooked. Reverse Pepsi Plunge, perhaps. Punk battering Aries. Who's gonna win this struggle? Aries fighting back now on Punk. Takes Punk over. Punk rolls through. Shining Wizard. This time it hits. Aries could be knocked cold. Punk though, too bruised, too battered to make the cover. Aries though, he's too close to the ropes. Punk's gonna have to get him in the middle of the ring. Punk now taking Aries. Welcome to Chicago. And he goes right after that arm. And notice that Punk is keeping himself between the ropes and Austin Aries. Austin Aries is going to have to find a way out of this soon, or else he's going to have to tap. Punk will break that arm if that's what it takes. He will get revenge for his fellow Second City State member, Colt Cabana. Aries struggling, trying to fight out the pain, block it out, turn himself around. And it looks like, let's see, yes, he gets the ropes. Punk forced to break the hold. Punk might be getting a little frustrated. What's it going to take to put Austin Aries away? Not only that, but Punk's ribs have to be killing him at this point. Punk with a chopping form, but Aries fighting right back. Aries proving to be tenacious. Aries is as tough as they come. Oh! Aries whipped into the referee. Ref Todd Sinclair is down. And Punk's right on the arm. And oh no, what's this? Roderick Strong and Jack Evans of Generation X, they're attacking Punk. This isn't what Ring of Honor is about. And there's Ace Steel. Ace Steel saving his fellow Second City State member. Fighting off Roderick Strong and Jack Evans, evening the odds. As they are right now battering, Ace Steel battering Strong and Evans to the locker room. And we're back to one-on-one competition, but there is no referee. Oh, what's going to happen next? Aries moving in on Punk. A kick to the midsection. It doesn't matter if he goes for a pinner submission now because there is no referee. Oh, what's this? It's Alex Shelley. Oh, this is disgusting. This isn't what Ring of Honor is about. And Ace Steel is out of the picture. He was fighting with Strong and Evans. Oh, right across the ribs. We have a 2-on-1 situation on our hands. Oh, and now Generation X isn't even... Hold on! Steve Corino! Steve Corino! Punk rolls up Aries. Sinclair comes through. And Punk scores a win! Steve Corino is back in ROH!
On my worst day and your best, start right here. The last time we saw you, Steve Carino, was Thanksgiving in your match against Homicide in the No Ropes Barbed Wire match. What the hell are you doing here in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
145 pounds, from Bed-Stuy, do or die, Brooklyn, New York, Dan Moff.
Danger's vendetta against Moff and Whitmer is continuing right here as her new hired henchmen, Chicano and Slash Venom, are taking it to Moff and Whitmer. Up and over goes Slash Venom, and the action's going fast and furious from the very beginning. Slash Venom and Chicano coming from the IWA Puerto Rico promotion. And they are coming to try to get revenge for Allison Danger. As there you see Moff and Slash Venom, a big chops back and forth on each other. Moff and Whitmer in for the fight of their lives. Allison Danger still owns their contracts, and she signed them not to just one match tonight, but 2 matches, as she wants to see their careers ended. Danger is delusional. She's crazy. She needs to just let Moff and Whitmer go, but she's refusing, as she insists the prophecy will never die. That's why she told Chicano and Slash Venom not to shake hands. And look who's back, CM Punk.
Ooh, and the hits keep on rolling tonight, don't they?
I'm sure you're real proud of yourself. Steve Corino making his return. We'll have to talk about that a little later, as this match is going fast and furious.
Moff and Whitmer, 2 big, gigantic heavy hitters here in Ring of Honor, and believe me, I know.
I don't want to look past what we just witnessed, but I also don't want to take attention away from this match.
No, don't worry. I got more tricks up my sleeve for the little Gen Xers. Don't worry about that. All right, but let's focus on this at hand right now. 2 guys from IWA Puerto Rico, almost hired hitman by Allison Danger, who I can't stand. Moff and Whitmer have earned a little bit of my respect after that brutal Chicago street fight that we had. But right now, it looks like the Puerto Rico boys are on top here.
Allison Danger says she's going to bring in talent to take down Moff and Whitmer. She even claims that Mick Foley is going to be under her control, and that the one and only Mick Foley will try to take out BJ Whitmer and Dan Moff. I mean, that just proves how delusional she is.
I thought you said Foley was in the pocket of Nana.
Well, obviously he wasn't. He didn't answer Nana's call. He also didn't answer Austin Aries' call out. So there's no telling when we're going to see Mick Foley tonight or what he's going to do. But I'm willing to bet he's not going to be one of Allison Danger's hired henchmen. Nice. He is a nice inverted DDT by Slash Venom.
I'm telling you right now, man, grapes and rubdowns, I'd be all about them. Prince Nana, you know my number, call me.
There goes Slash Venom. Wow, triple jump to the floor on Dan Moff, and these guys look like they're going to get the job done as they are controlling the hard-hitting team of Moff and Whitmer. Chicano missing the swanton. Whitmer now unable to get any offense.
Chicano's in alone in the ring with Whitmer. Wrist clutch exploder.
He's got a hook onto the chair, and it's Relaxed Rules match cover. Moff and Whitmer pull it out. They're going to still have one more match to go, and it's going to be a tough one, the ultimate endurance main event. But so far, Allison Danger has failed in her quest to destroy them.
I do find you moderately attractive in a skeevy, psychotic type of way. But if you thought I went all the way to Elizabeth, New Jersey, you gotta be kidding me. So why don't you take your moderately attractive face and get the hell out of my ring? Because I'm not here to hang out with you. As a matter of fact, the people I came to hang out with have been... It's good to have you in the embassy, my friend. Yeah! Hold on a second. You're assuming because I hugged your embassy guys that I'm now part of the embassy. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I happen to be a pretty damn good hugger. I wanted to show the people that skill right here in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But as far as me joining the embassy, I'd just like to say, because I received a phone call a few weeks ago. And how'd you like to work for ROH? And I said, I heard all about ROH, but I'm Mick Foley, 3-time WWE champion. Two-time New York Times #1 best-selling author, and I'm like, I actually wrote my own damn books. I've been interviewed twice by Katie Couric, so I'm not about to associate with something I can't be proud of. Send me some videotapes. Send me some DVDs. And I sat there in front of my television, and I pressed play, wondering what of these guys got in store for me. And after a few minutes, I sat on my couch, and I swear those of you who watched me for several years know I don't curse all that often. And I sat on my couch and I said, holy shit. If I had any athletic ability, I'd be stealing all those moves. And it wasn't the moves that impressed me the most, it was the attitude. It reminded me when I broke in, when the wrestling business was not about how many t-shirts you could sell. It wasn't about how many action figures you could sell. And I was guilty as everyone else. It wasn't about as many children's books as you could sell. It was about giving the fans the best damn show you possibly can every night out. Sometimes I worked my ass off in my career. I worked my ass off in WWE, but there were many, many times when I'd look up and I'd see 20,000 fans and I'd say to myself, take it easy tonight so you can continue to play and go to 20,000 the next time. Well, guess what? These guys don't think that way. Danny Mock doesn't think that way. BJ Whitmer doesn't think that way. They're dead set. Just like I was way back when, I'm giving the best match every single night. Now I know ROH stands for Pure Wrestling. But I saw something else in those DVDs. Hell, I saw Jay Briscoe damn near bleed to death and keep on going. I saw you, BJ, and you, Danny, in a Chicago street fight I'd be proud to call my own. I've seen it all on ROH with my old partner, Abdullah the Butcher, and his Randall Cage. So you ask me why I'm here. It's to pay respect to the new legends of the business and to show the world that in my mind at least, ROH stands for Ring of Hardcore. Have a nice day.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Michael Capetta. It's intermission time. What an incredible first half we've seen, including Mick Foley. He dubbed Ring of Honor ROH Ring of Hardcore. Now there's plenty more action to come, including the first pure title defense of this man, John Walters. John, I know you're getting focused for this match, but I've got to ask you, with the controversy between you and Samoa Joe, he won't even name your opponent. He says your title is beneath the world title. John, look, I know that can't be something you want to hear, but it's the way it is. But maybe you just have some comments for the fans as you enter into your first title defense.
Comments for the fans? The fans did not think that this was possible. And I still have my doubters out there, GMC, who don't think I'm worthy of holding this title.
well, each and every one of them will eat those words. And this belt is not about sitting here and making promises. Promising you or promising the cameraman what I'm going to do. What this title is all about is going to the ring and proving myself in the ring. So that's what I'm going to do. March to the ring and defend the pure title.
All right, everybody, John Walters, he will do his talking in the ring. Now, standing by with his opponent this evening is Sean Price. Take it away, Sean.
Thank you, Gary, for the kickback. I have never seen John Walters as serious and as intense as he is tonight, but nothing pales in comparison to the hunger of the challenger, Nigel McGuinness. Tonight, Nigel, you have a pure championship match against John Walters. Tell me, what are you feeling right now?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited. I've been coming here about 13 months now, on and off. I've been waiting patiently for my opportunity, my chance to make an impact here in Ring of Honor. Well, tonight, I have that chance. Ring of Honor officials have told me that from here on in, I'm on every show. So I've got to start strong, which means tonight, I either win or I steal the show trying. Because there's nothing more pure than my British wrestling style. Because Nigel McGuinness isn't in the USA to play. McGuinness is in it to win it. You remember that?
Folks, you heard it from himself. He is geared to go. We're going to have one heck of a pure championship match tonight. Let's go straight to the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, weighing in at 199 pounds, from the Tennessee District, Alex.
Falling the code of honor, not showing respect to their opponents, and not shaking hands. It's not a requirement anymore with the code of honor. It's all about respect, all about what kind of character you have, and Alex Shelley just showed what kind of person he is.
Alex Shelley's got no character. You know, there's some guys that won't shake your hand and try to get into your head. It's all a mind game, but for Generation Next, it's just all about being disrespectful. You know, they're the reason Cabana's on the shelf right now, and I'm going to take a lot of pleasure watching Dragon kick this kid's ass.
I'm sure you took a lot of pleasure earlier when Steve Corino surprised us all with his return. A great plan there, CM Punk. I'll give you credit where it's due.
It's no surprise to me. You know, I knew I had to come with it. Whoa, did you see that slap? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You got little Alex Shelley here, whose eyes are so close together, he looks like some kind of a cyclops, and he slaps American Dragon, who some think is the best wrestler in the world. Refuses to shake his hand and then slaps him.
Well, you know, Shelley's not going to take that, as does this crowd as you hear that chant.
My sentiments exactly.
Alex Shelley, you did see him grabbing the arm on the way in, and that's because really in an asinine move, when after he ran from the ring after the Foley attack, he accidentally banged his arm on the entranceway on his way to the back. So he tweaked a little injury there, and he has it going into this match.
Not not something you want to do walking into a ring with Bryan Danielson.
Definitely a stupid move on Shelley's part.
You got a finger lacing to test his strength with Dragon trying to force Shelley's arms and shoulders to the mat. Nice escape by Shelley.
We are seeing some beautiful pure wrestling right here. Quite the opposite of what Mick Foley said. That's about bridge there, Danielson. And there's payback for the earlier slap. But Mick Foley dubbing ROH to mean Ring of Hardcore. He's calling it Ring of Hardcore after some of the action he saw, like the steel cage match between Samoa Joe and Jay Briscoe during At Our Best, like the Chicago street fight you were in.
Hardcore is a harsh word. This is Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is about wrestling. It's about hard work. It's about wrestling. I don't mean to sound repetitive. It's certainly nothing to do with hardcore. Yeah, there's been some times and there's been some feuds settled where there's blood been shed, chairs have been swung, and some barbed wires come into play. But I'm sure Foley's watching all the wrong tapes if he thinks this is hardcore. This certainly is not hardcore. This is wrestling. It's Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor is known for its wrestling, and Foley putting over the hardcore side of things. And there have been a lot of great, intense hardcore battles in ROH, and that's what happens when hatred really explodes. It's not just done for the sake of violence. It's done when the hatred escalates, and that's what Foley was mentioning right there, calling it Ring of Hardcore. Very interesting from words from Mick Foley, and he is signed for future ROH dates, so that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on.
Going on a date or like future ROH shows?
It'll be on future ROH shows.
Alex Shelley now staying on the arm of Bryan Danielson. Nice hammerlock applied. Grounded Danielson earlier with it. Danielson escapes again.
And you're being really professional, CM Punk. I know that you have to have some harsh feelings towards Alex Shelley after the attack in Chicago, after the injuries to Colt Cabana and the attacks in Boston just a few weeks ago at Scramble Cage Melee. That issue between the Second City Saints and Generation Next really taken off, and I guess that's why we have your friend, I guess you could call him your friend, Steve Corino back.
You know, I think Alex Shelley's got a man crush on me. He tries to one-up me in Chicago. He tries to run in. He tries to jump me. All this stuff. But I've always been one step ahead of him and his little group of goons. You know, me and Ace Steel and Colt Cabana, you know, we're from a tougher city than he is. I was trained by better people than he was trained by, you know, and if he wants to take my spot, it's going to take a lot more than just some fists and some boots to stop me. You know, I knew somebody was going to go down. I brought Steve Corino to watch my back.
Look at that submission right there. It's Alex Shelley. The only way out is to reach the ropes, and he does. And you know what? It's pretty interesting you brought Steve Corino back, because in Glory by Honor last year saw you name Steve Corino as Raven's opponent, and Steve Corino paid you back with a slap there. And then you guys had that really intriguing and interesting game of one-upmanship at Empire State Showdown a month later. And now Steve Corino is back, and he is in your corner.
That's right. He's going to stay in my corner.
You guys got a weird kind of relationship there. I can't really figure it out.
No, yeah, I explained it to him. I picked him to wrestle Raven, and he beat Raven. It was the first time he ever beat Raven, and it's exactly what he needed to do. You know, he's been toiling on the indies for so long. I decided, you know, he needed to wrestle Raven. He got his big win finally, and now look at him. He wrestles in Japan all the time. I explained that to him, and he thanked me.
I didn't think Corino was coming back to ROH, and you were the one that brought him back, CM Punk. As there we see a beautiful bridge by Bryan Danielson into a pinning. No, Shelley turns it around.
Referee Paul Turner right there to call the action. I'm sure Bryan Danielson isn't going to submit. He's got too much pride. He's too tough. He's certainly not going to submit to a guy like Alex Shelley.
Well,
he'd just as soon pass out from pain before submitting.
Alex Shelley is a skilled competitor. You have to give him credit there. Even though Generation Next is targeting the Second City Saints spots as a top faction here in ROH, it does take a lot to put a man like Alex Shelley down.
It looks like he's been watching the playbook of Colt Cabana with the double knees in the corner and taking one from me with the drop kick off straight to the neck of Bryan Danielson. But that's okay, you know, the imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Looks like you're trying to get in the mind of Alex Shelley there. And Shelley now trying to bend Bryan Danielson backwards.
It's not that hard. Schoolboy attempt. Wow, early going for the Border City stretch.
1, 2.
both men early on, they're lucky this isn't a pure match. They'd be losing rope breaks.
Alex Shelley definitely trying to target the neck of Bryan Danielson. You normally see him go for the 40-city stretch later in matches. He's made several men tap to that, but perhaps he's going for the quick win, or perhaps he's trying to soften him up. But that European uppercut will definitely soften you up, but Alex Shelley right back going after the leg. Bring it on, Shelley.
Danielson dropped in a hurry after that leg pick. Wonder how damaged that leg is. Maybe Alex Shelley knows something we don't. It's severely doubtful that he knows anything that I don't, but it's, maybe in this case when it comes to Bryan Danielson's health.
And Alex Shelley getting very aggressive on the floor.
Bringing it up close and personal, these great fans here in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But Alex Shelley can't pin American Dragon on the floor.
Last time in Elizabeth, Generation Next tried to lay out Ricky Steamboat, make their name at his expense, and you made the save for Steamboat, and that kicked everything off between Generation Next and the Second City Saints. But right now, Alex Shelley is trying to defeat Bryan Danielson, a man who wrestled for 75 minutes against Austin Aries. With moves like that, this match isn't going to go 75 minutes. Alex Shelley's going to score a victory. That arm's definitely bothering Alex Shelley, though.
Yeah, but Dragon's in La La Land.
And he can score a pin here. It only takes 3 seconds. No, Dragon gets the shoulders up. I thought Dragon was out.
Alex Shelley's giving up a little bit of a weight disadvantage here. I think Dragon might be taller than him as well. You don't really see that too often. But this whole Generation Next on the taking their spot thing is so lame and cliche. And they're picking fights with the wrong guys. They want to mess with the Saints. And next time we come to Chicago, we're going to show them exactly why we're the Second City Saints.
They've also raised the ire of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, among others. Generation Next making a lot of enemies here in ROH. Bryan Danielson, he had those 2 classic matches against Alex Shelley's fellow Generation Next member Austin Aries. Now let's see if Alex Shelley can score a victory over Bryan Danielson, just like Austin Aries did in that 2 out of 3 fall legendary match at Testing the Limits.
And you really got to wonder if that's going through Alex Shelley's mind right now, is if he can stay and go the distance with Dragon just like Aries did.
And it's also interesting to note that there's no members of Generation Next at ringside here. We have seen it. Wow, there's a big slap. We have seen it where when Generation Next are in main event type matches, they have nobody at ringside, but when they're in the undercard matches, they always have people at ringside. They're always playing a numbers game. Definitely a curious tactic there by Generation Next. And hopefully we can get some answers as to why that is soon. Although as evidence from your match earlier against Austin Aries, the Generation Next guys are looking on from the curtain, ready to make an impact if they see an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, they like to play the numbers game. And right now Dragon's playing a game of his own. It's called Rearrange Your Face.
Just look at that.
Stretching the neck and the back of Alex Shelley. I'm sure that's doing some damage to his shoulders as well.
He's sitting right down on that spine, just bending the spine of Alex Shelley as well. Turns into a pinning combination for the bridge. Oh, Shelley somehow kicks out. And a move like that can definitely trap you for 3 seconds.
Especially with that bridge, it's all the leverage in the world. Dragon now setting up Alex Shelley for a surfboard attempt, perhaps. I've seen Dragon do this before.
Danielson, so methodical, taking his time, letting Alex Shelley think about it. And if he turns this over, Alex Shelley's going to be in a world of pain. Perfectly executed by Bryan Danielson, and Alex Shelley might have to tap.
The only way out of this is if he goes to Dragon's eyes. I've been in this before, and the only way I got out of it was going to the eyes. Oh, he somehow gets out of it.
Slipped out. It is a hot night here in the Rexplex. That sweat playing a factor. And now Danielson aggressively grabbing the arm of Alex Shelley and going right after it. That injured limb of Alex Shelley. You know what? If Alex Shelley just stayed in the locker room, wasn't worried about attacking Mick Foley, making his name at Mick Foley's expense, he would not have that injured arm right now.
It'll be interesting to see if that's a factor in this match now. Maybe they'll make him think twice about trying to run in and jump on a legend.
Generation Next, they're trying to make their names at everyone's expense, including Mick Foley, but Alex Shelley paid the price when he was running from the ring. Whoa! Danielson just, wow, what a vicious boot to the head.
Oh, he's just standing on the face of Alex Shelley. He's not going to get any prettier.
As I say, no, Alex Shelley fleeing from the ring, banging his arm on the way out. A pure accident, absolutely stupid injury right there.
Well, it's that stupid injury that could lead to the downfall of this match right here.
Now Bryan Danielson has the injured arm hooked and he's stretching the other arm, and that's going to tweak both shoulders. And that, of course, softens you up for cattle mutilation, which is Bryan Danielson's favorite submission hold. And look how Danielson is grabbing at the elbow area and twisting back on the wrist. That's how you use leverage to your advantage. Danielson firmly in control, and you know you have to be enjoying this.
As long as Alex Shelley's in pain, I'm enjoying it. There's a little receipt from earlier.
Absolutely vicious, and good for a 2 count from referee Paul Turner.
I'm also glad that Alex Shelley doesn't have that stupid gear on where one pant leg's longer than the other. I think, didn't he get those made by Fast Eddie?
I don't know about that, but what I do know is Bryan Danielson is targeting that arm. Once Bryan Danielson targets a body part, that is bad news for his opponent, as Alex Shelley has to find a way out, perhaps go to the neck. He was working on the neck earlier. It has been softened up, and his only chance right now might be to attack that neck of Bryan Danielson.
Overhand wrist lock, very basic maneuver. Crowd behind Bryan Danielson the whole way. Pick a winner for me, Bauer.
Right now, Bryan Danielson looks like he's in the driver's seat as he's got cattle mutilation. Yes, he has it hooked in. He's got it. Alex Shelley's got it. He reaches the ropes, and he had to get out of it in a hurry, and he did. Bryan Danielson, though, he is absolutely dominating. This is like what we saw in the early going of his 75-minute match against Austin Aries. Perhaps we're going to see another long one here.
Crowd's ready for it. You got a superplex attempt by Danielson, crossbody by Alex Shelley.
2 count. Danielson turns it over though. Another 2 count. Oh, Shelley just barely getting the shoulders up. That was 2 and 9/10.
He's shaking out that arm. He's trying to get more blood flowing into that arm. Right back on the arm, right back on the wings of Alex Shelley, if you will. Bryan Danielson, tenacious.
Is pulling back. That hurts the arm as well as the shoulders. Again, softening up Alex Shelley for cattle mutilation. Danielson, he wants that world title shot. This is a man that put ROH on the map starting on the very first show. This is that roaring forearm, but gets nailed with a super kick. Alex Shelley has to follow up in a hurry.
I would love for Dragon to put Shelley on the shelf.
I know you would, CM Punk.
Just like they put Cabana on the shelf. You know, the only thing sweeter would be is if I got to put Alex Shelley on the shelf.
Colt Cabana, he's out, no telling how long, perhaps a couple of months with an injured shoulder. And a dragon screw by Shelley. And he connects with that kick. Danielson kind of blocked it, but still hit nonetheless.
Shelley now going after the injured leg. Dragon still obviously wants to target that injured arm.
And he's not able to get Dragon up with that suplex because of that injured arm.
Another suplex attempt. Oh, knee delivered by Bryan Danielson. Cattle mutilation attempt right now. Shelley makes it to the ropes one more time. I like the way Daniels uses the ref's count. Sleeper.
Oh, but Shelley catches him in a stunner. For a 2 count.
Innovative maneuver by Alex Shelley, but I hate to give him any credit whatsoever. I'm trying to be non-partial here.
Crowd now showing their appreciation of both men. They're absolutely glued to the action in the ring. And there's that airplane spin. You felt this one, CM Punk. That definitely has to get you dizzy. Definitely makes you lose your bearings in that ring.
Talk to Brian about this. Brian's goal is to get somebody to throw up doing that.
He might end up throwing himself as he sat down on Shelley for a 2 count. And you know what's coming up next. He loves to go for that diving headbutt. And he scores right on the arm of Alex Shelley. Oh, another 2 count.
Vintage American Dragon right there. Headbutt off the top. He's going to follow it up with more arm work. He's got to go for that submission hold one more time. Brutal European uppercuts.
He might be going for a knockout with those. That's what split open the chin of Austin Aries. That's survival of the fittest. Shell shock by Shelley. He's pinned people in this before. Cover. Danielson kicks out, but that also softens up the neck for the Border City stretch. And Shelley has it cinched in towards the middle of the ring. Danielson not close to the ropes. This could be a tap right here. Will Bryan Danielson tap to the Border City stretch, wrenching at that injured neck.
He's making it to the ropes.
He's sliding over, and there it is. Danielson escapes.
Not wise of Shelley releasing that hold right away. He had till 5. Ooh!
Shelley has to go back to the neck, and he does just that. If I'm Alex Shelley, I'm trying to reapply that Border City stretch as quick as I can.
In the middle of the ring, immediately. Another suplex attempt by Shelley.
He's crossing the legs this time. And once again, that arm keeps Shelley from getting dragging up. Whoa! That could knock you out right there.
Dragon's getting fired up. Looks like he's hooking it again. Cattle mutilation time.
And he's got it cinched. Oh, Shelley turns it over once again. And he's got the Border City stretch. He's got it cinched in. Alex Shelley could be getting Bryan Danielson's world title shot right here, right now, if Danielson taps or passes out from the pain. Shelley working on that injured neck. Danielson right in the middle of the ring, trying to, yes, he gets up. Oh, high impact by Bryan Danielson with that snap suplex.
Cattle mutilation, Bauer.
He's got a hook in the middle of the ring. Shelley's got no place to go, and that's it, he taps.
I love it.
Shelley gives up. What a win for Bryan Danielson. When's he gonna get that world title shot? Bryan Danielson once again proves why he's one of the best, if not the best, in the entire wrestling world today. championship. He defeated Doug Williams on the very last show in Boston, Scramble Cage Melee, to become the champion in front of his hometown fans, friends, and family. And now at Glory by Honor 3, he's ready to put the belt on the line against Nigel McGuinness.
If you're new to Ring of Honor, Nigel McGuinness is in the blue trunks, John Walters in the black tights, and Bauer, I'm not afraid to admit it, this is the match I've been looking most forward to the entire night.
Both men have something to prove. John Walters wants to bring prestige to the Pure title. Nigel McGuinness was just given a full-time contract in ROH, so he wants to prove that he deserves that contract. Pure title matches, of course, contested under different rules than any other match going in professional wrestling today. First and foremost, you only get 3 rope breaks to stop a pinfall or submission. After you use those 3 rope breaks, the ropes are in play and your opponent can use them. As, for instance, something like the tarantula would be legal. There is also no closed fist to the face. The first one gets you a warning. The second one loses you a rope break. If you have no rope breaks left, you are DQ'd. And of course, the Pure title can change hands on a disqualification or countout. And finally, of course, there normally is no countouts in Ring of Honor matches. However, there is a strict 20 count on the floor in Pure title matches.
Both men early on in this contest trading wrist holds, jockeying for position. More of a feeling out process than any either man gaining any kind of an advantage. Who's your pick in this one, Bauer?
I'd say this one is definitely a toss-up. It should be very interesting to note as we see more good back and forth reversals by both men, neither able to gain an advantage. That last year at Glory by Honor, you and Raven were having that intense feud, and ROH officials declared that you and Raven would pick each other's opponents for Glory by Honor 2. So this year, it was determined that the Pure champion would determine the challenger for the world title, and the world champion would determine the challenger for the Pure title. John Walters selected Doug Williams to challenge Samoa Joe tonight after Samoa Joe got Doug Williams' face before that Pure title match in Boston. However, Samoa Joe refused to pick an opponent for John Walters, saying the Pure title is beneath him and means nothing next to the world title. And we got a quick pin. That could have been it. But how insulting is that for Samoa Joe to say that? Obviously, Samoa Joe is bothered and might even be threatened by the fact that there is now another singles title in ROH, and that champion, the Pure champion, is looking to make that belt prestigious, just like Samoa Joe did with the ROH world title.
Well, the action in the ring here, very quick, very sudden, as both men tie up in the center of the ring. Your referees, is that, Todd Sinclair, very good official, very good at refereeing these Pure title bouts. You brought up a point that I was going to bring up a little bit later, Bauer, but I'll comment on it now. To me, this is Nigel's match. Nigel's winning this one hands down. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It is going to be a fight, but to me, Nigel's more consistent. And the simple fact that Samoa Joe feels that this title is beneath him and John Walters is pretty much a paper champion, it weighs too heavily on the psyche of John Walters, and that's eventually going to be his downfall.
John Walters knows he has something to prove as Pure champion. We saw that in that promo with Gary Michael Capetta at intermission. John Walters saying he will do his talking in the ring, and he's doing that right now with that hard chop. Nigel shaking it off and connects with a forearm.
Nigel a lot tougher than he appears. He can throw hands with the best of them.
Doug Williams, he did do a great job bringing prestige to the Pure title before he lost it, defending it in the United Kingdom, defending it on consecutive nights at Death Before Dishonor weekend. Now it's up to John Walters to continue carrying the torch.
Well, you can defend that belt anywhere you want. The fact of the matter is anybody can beat you in 3 seconds. You know, Joe's held his title for 18 months, and he's beaten everybody he's come across, except for myself, of course. A nice volley back and forth, 2 counts here. I think the referee's going to get tired before either one of the wrestlers.
And the fans showing their respect for this back and forth action, their appreciation for the competitiveness they're seeing in the ring, because Pure wrestling means wrestling at its most competitive nature. Competition at its purest. And that's what we're seeing right here. A lot of different strategies in this kind of match too, CM Punk. You have to be careful about when you use those rope breaks, Usually you can go to the ropes for an easy way out of submission, but you got to maybe think of something else here as you want to conserve those ropes.
Very true, very true. It's a different kind of contest. You can't go into it blind. This is a contest you do your homework for, definitely. You scout your opponent a little bit more. Nice holding on to the cravat there.
Let me interrupt you for a second. You saw Nigel McGuinness taking John Walters towards the ropes in that cravat. Now, normally Walters would just grab the ropes and get out of the hold, and I think that's what Nigel wanted him to do. And instead, Walters trying to find a different way out, and once again trying to pick Nigel up for a slam to get another way out, but Nigel keeps that hold on. So that's something else you want to do, is try to get your opponents to use their rope breaks early, because if they do, that really gives you a big advantage. Ooh, and that big forearm levels Nigel McGuinness, and that gives John Walters a big advantage.
They wrestled on 8-7, and it's almost a fluke win by Walters. He got Nigel, stunned him enough with that headbutt to roll him up.
And in fact, that match seemed to go a little short because of that headbutt, because of Nigel getting knocked out. And as we said, it only takes 3 seconds, and it was a quick pin by John Walters, and that's why ROH officials awarded Nigel McGuinness with this title shot, because they wanted to see the rematch of that 8-7 testing the limits match.
Look at Nigel telling John Walters he's number 1 in the country he comes from.
And there you see another situation where Nigel might normally go for the ropes, but to get out of the hold, but instead looking to roll his way out of it. Walters holding on now.
Walters rolling with him, avoiding the reversal by McGuinness. Right back down to the canvas, John Walters. I love this, Bauer. This is wrestling at its best.
And right now we're in another situation where 90% of the time Nigel McGuinness will just scurry over to the ropes, get out of the hold, but instead he's trying to find another way out. He doesn't want to waste his first rope break here.
You don't want to waste any rope breaks. All 3 can be very vital at the later points in the match.
The rope breaks only count if a man is in a pinfall situation or submission. Basically, if you're escaping defeat by using the rope, that counts as a rope break.
Walters are tugging on the arm of McGuinness.
Hold on. McGuinness gets out of the hold, but Todd Sinclair calling that a rope break. That's similar to what we saw with you at the second anniversary show. Controversial as to whether that was a rope break or not. Nonetheless, though, Todd Sinclair has declared that a rope break. And Nigel McGuinness is now down 1 rope break.
Rope break or not, McGuinness followed up with a sharp elbow to the back of Walters, and now he's sending him off the far side. Headbutt right to the stomach. You know, it's funny about this Nigel McGuinness guy. He wrestles a British style, and it's pretty strange because he's British.
Hear this great crowd at the Rex Plex cheering both men on. And yeah, it's giving both men the adrenaline rush.
Oh, Nigel lands high on his neck.
And Walters scores with the first high-impact move of the match. Good for a 2 count. There have been other high-impact moves, but that was really the first major one.
That was the highest impact move, definitely. You see the way he landed on his neck? Innovative stunner by Walters.
And he rolls him over. Perhaps going for a surfboard.
Well, that's good enough for me. It looks like he's pulling at the nose and the mouth of Nigel McGuinness.
And Todd Sinclair getting a break there. And deservedly so. Once again, John Walters tearing at the nose. That's got to be annoying as well. It's a little bit painful. Now you see a simple camel clutch by John Walters as he continues to try to wear down the challenger. Is John Walters a fluke champion? We'll find out soon right here at Glory by Honor 3 outside of New York City.
I don't think necessarily John Walters is a fluke champion. I just think, like I said, he's got more going against him in this match. Although the pure title matches are different than most other matches, it is true Nigel has to beat the champion to win that belt.
Cover! Oh, another quick and 2 count, and Walters is barely getting out of it.
Got a body scissors now. Classic wrestling hold.
And notice how Nigel is close to the ropes. Will he have to use a rope break here to get out of it? Walters squeezing those legs, and yes!
Simple but effective as it produces another rope break for Nigel McGuinness.
John Walters, he's familiar with that European British style of wrestling as he had to defeat Doug Williams, an expert at it for that belt. And just like the Doug Williams match, John Walters is quickly up a couple of rope breaks. Now he's got a Cobra Clutch type submission cinched in.
Seated, no less. No leverage for Nigel to get to the ropes.
And the fans really enjoying this one.
As am I. Nice short arm clothesline and right back to the hold.
Now notice once again Nigel close to the ropes. He's reaching for it, thinking a little better than using his third rope break here, as he is at a severe disadvantage if he is out of rope breaks. Nigel McGuinness, normally he'd be right in the ropes, but he can't do it right now. He's got to get another way out of that hold.
Walter's been tenacious on that neck ever since that first high impact move. Almost that he threw the man off, right off his shoulders, landed high on his neck. Now he's just slamming his head. Nope, nice quick escape by Nigel.
And Nigel now inviting John Walters to use the ropes to break this crossface.
Brutal crossface, not only torquing on the neck and the arm, but almost suffocating him, covering up his nose, definitely depleting the man of oxygen.
And Walters just used his first rope break.
He has 2 remaining. John Walters has 2 remaining. Nigel.
And there's that divorce cord where he kicks out the leg. High impact on the arm and shoulder. And he's got that arm submission cinched in. He's made men tap to this. Can John Walters hang on? Walters might have to use another rope break here very quickly after the first one.
Just an ugly, ugly hold. If you take a look at John Walters' arm, your wrist isn't supposed to pass the plane of your shoulder like that.
And John Walters knows that, and he had to use a second rope break.
He was about that close to tapping out on that one.
That can easily snap your wrist. And we are even on rope breaks right now. 2 apiece. And whoever gets that third one's going to have a huge advantage. What's Nigel doing?
This is actually called the Artful Dodger. And that was a European uppercut. Oh! A super kick to make Chris Adams proud.
And I think a lot of people in this building thought that was it for John Walters. I did. Somehow Walters kicking out. And notice the intensity of that chant has picked up each time as this match has gone on. Nigel McGuinness frustrating John Walters with that European style. But Walters connects with that high drop kick.
Highly athletic move by Walters.
And a Hurricanrana off the top scores. John Walters is feeling it. He's looking to be successful in his first title defense.
Signaling for a forearm, possibly a lariat, at least something that targets the neck of Nigel.
Nigel's up. Taken off his feet, and he landed on his neck. Cover!
Both men have 1 rope break left apiece. Now, if I'm John Walters, I'm trying to cover Nigel close to the ropes, maybe to entice him to put a foot on the ropes to save the energy from kicking out.
Walters going for it all, but he gets caught. Nigel crouching him. This is competition at its purest. This is what pure wrestling's all about. Mick Foley wants to talk about Ring of Hardcore. This is what ROH is known for, this pure wrestling.
Exactly what I was talking about earlier. Nigel going to the top, but he's stopped by Walters.
Both men getting caught on the top rope, paying the price. And if Walters scores with this superplex, it could be all over. Yes! And he turns over. He's on top of 2 count only.
That was a close 2. 2 15/16.
This match could definitely go either way at this point, and we still have that rope break left.
Walters now going to the top.
Clutching his back after that superplex, soars and misses the splash.
No water in the pool on that one. Nigel to his feet in the corner.
Nigel definitely worn down. Both men feeling the effects of this match. What a competitive bout we're witnessing.
I'm feeling the effects of this match. This crowd's feeling the effects. Walters met with a boot right in the mush. Up and over goes Nigel.
Oh, there's that unorthodox movement. Walter's not wasting any time. Runs in, but Nigel traps him. Nigel usually traps his opponent in that. combination, turns him over. New pure champion coming up. Wow.
It almost looked like to me that Nigel was actually angling him towards the ropes, like I said earlier, to maybe draw him to put his flag on the ropes to lose that last rope break.
Nigel always frustrates his opponents with that handstand in the corner. John Walters tried to get aggressive with it. We normally don't see people that aggressive with it, and he paid the price, and Walters needs a breather.
Wisely rolling to the floor to escape whatever Nigel had in mind right there.
He saw Nigel going to the top. He knew he had to get out of the way. McGinnis, the big man, soars to the floor, though. He can taste that pure title. He knows it's within reach. He knows that he's now in Ring of Honor full time, and he could be a pure champion.
So who wants this title more right now? Does McGinnis want to win it more than Walters wants to hold on to it? Or does Walters not want to see that title escape his grasp?
Both men putting their bodies on the line in this one. Walters blocking those knees with his knees of his own. And he's got the lung blower.
God, did you see the way his back just recoiled off his knees?
And he holds on, and it's a second lung blower.
McGinnis has got to use a rope break on this one.
And a third one. And now look at this. Walters has him trapped in the middle of the ring with that necktie. And Nigel can't breathe as Walters is just squeezing the oxygen out of his body with his legs. After those elbows, and Nigel gives. He had no choice. What a great match. And John Walters is looking to raise the prestige of that pure title, and he just did a heck of a job. But what an effort by Nigel McGinnis.
You know, it's funny how things go on, how things come around and go around. Ring of Honor wasn't too happy about the way I left the company some time back, neither was I. The Briscoe brothers firing me, having the gall, having the audacity to fire Jim Cornette. Nobody was happy about the situation. I said, you know what, I'm going to come back to Ring of Honor, and I'm going to find me a tag team that can teach the Briscoes a lesson. But then what do I find out? They're on suspension. Evidently, they've been yanking a few more chains than just mine. So then I decided I'll go at one better. Jim Cornette, for the first time ever, will reunite the greatest tag team force in the history of wrestling. Bob Eaton, Dennis Condrey, and Stan Lane, all on the same side for the very first time ever, right in Philadelphia, October 2nd, the Ring of Honor, Jim Cornette, and the Midnight Expresses. It's going to be the greatest thing in the history of wrestling, because after all, not twin sons of different mothers, triplet sons of different mothers, not the greatest tag team, the greatest tag teams, along with James E., the manager, manipulator, and organizer of both those great combinations, right in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, is going to be the city of the Midnight Express. I can see it now.
You can't. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first the challenger, weighing in at 235 pounds from Maidstone, England, the United
G is. I'm the greatest of all times. I'ma say it just like Ali did.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The evil genius. The champ is here! Come on! The champ is here! And his opponent, weighing in at 270 pounds, from American Samoa, he is the current reigning and defending Ring of Honor World Champion,
The richest prize in ROH is on the line. The world title. Samoa Joe has held that belt for 18 months. He's made it into a world title, and he is defending it against a tough opponent, the Torture Device. The man who is a former pure champion. The man who has made an impact in ROH since the very first show, Doug Williams. And I can't wait to see this one.
I can't wait to see this one either. These are the heavyweights colliding.
Glory by Honor is Samoa Joe's event. He made his debut at the very first Glory by Honor in that legendary, brutal match against Low-Ki, perhaps the hardest hitting match in wrestling history. And last year at Glory by Honor, he was in a thrilling title defense against Christopher Daniels, and he put the Fallen Angel down. And it's hot and heavy in the early going to this one.
Yeah, speaking of brutal, look at this slugfest. High knee by Doug Williams plants the champion, and then a big shoulder tackle. It's almost like the irresistible force meets the immovable object.
And there's a lot behind those blows as Doug Williams goes to the floor. Samoa Joe showing he's not going to be outpowered. No one's going to outstrike him. No one's going to outkick him.
Look at Dougie loves it. Look, he's so British.
Doug Williams knows that the fight is on.
You know, Samoa Joe's got a lot of people looking after him. Both men show respect right there, handshake.
If Samoa Joe makes it past Doug Williams, he will enter his 19th month as ROH World Champion. And there you see Doug Williams faking out a test of strength and getting a leg scissors right there, right around the torso of Samoa Joe, trying to squeeze the oxygen out of the big man's lungs.
19 months for a heavyweight title, for any kind of title reign in the pro wrestling world nowadays is almost unheard of.
And look at that unique submission by the Torture Device on the world champion.
That's why he's called that. Ooh, big slap by Joe.
Oh, Doug Williams paid the price. Samoa Joe has defended the title against all comers. From Paul London to AJ Styles to Christopher Daniels, he's put them all down in classic title defenses. He went 60 minutes against CM Punk.
Did not put me down. Nice ankle pick by Doug Williams into a vice.
Many are calling the 60-minute match against you at World Title Classic the greatest match in ROH history. Can Samoa Joe get past Doug Williams? And in a little trivia note, Doug Williams was in fact the very first man to challenge Samoa Joe for the ROH title. It was known at the time at Round Robin Challenge 2 on April 26, 2003. And Samoa Joe obviously defeated Doug Williams that night. But now we're about a year and a half later, and it's a different situation. And now we'll see if Doug Williams can score that big win. Williams proved he can win the clutch matches. And so you see Samoa Joe doing anything possible to get out of that submission.
You know, it's interesting. Joe kept kicking Doug, and then Doug eventually had to pin both his legs. Very smart maneuver.
Doug Williams had a short but very successful stint as pure champion, and if Samoa Joe really wants to prove that the world title is better than the pure title, there's no better way than to put down the former pure champion Doug Williams.
Yeah, but don't look past Doug Williams, because Doug Williams can beat Joe. That's what I love about Ring of Honor power. Anybody can beat anybody else on any given night.
Especially when somebody like Doug Williams has a weapon like the Chaos Theory, that puts them all down. The only reason it didn't defeat John Walters of Boston was because of that injured leg.
Well, the Chaos Theory does require a bridge. When you take away one of your legs, you're taking away 50% of your bridging power. Nice forearm by Joe. These boys are going to be hitting each other.
Doug Williams trying to use his quickness to go underneath, but Joe catches him. Now Doug Williams goes around. Doug Williams knows so many holds and counter holds. And he comes up with the leg of Samoa Joe. Don't forget, Doug Williams proved he could. Oh, Joe almost got caught with the shoulders on the mat. Doug Williams, though, he proved he could go to the limit as he was in that 60-minute Ironman match and crowning a champion, the 5th ROH show ever, and now it's a match to determine the 1st ROH champion. So Doug Williams can go the limit if need be.
So both men were involved in 2 of the longest matches in Ring of Honor history. Of course, there was a 3rd match being the American Dragon and Austin Aries being long too. But yeah, both these men can go the distance. They're both heavyweights, and they both come here to fight.
You think CM Punk that Samoa Joe might be at a psychological disadvantage? I mean, he did confront Doug Williams before that pure title match in Boston, so obviously that whole pure title thing did get to his mind. But not only that, he lost to Homicide at the last show in Boston, and in that 3-way, that non-title one that you were involved in, and him and Homicide, of course, they hate each other. They will not be opposing each other again in 2004, as ROH officials are giving them a cooling down period.
Well, let's
there's so much hatred. But I mean, he did lose to Homicide.
Yeah, but let's call a spade a spade. He didn't lose to Homicide. He lost to a Pepsi plunge, okay, proving that is the most devastating maneuver in Ring of Honor. If that can put down the champion, then that belt should be around my waist.
Very good point, CM Punk, and hopefully we can see that rematch between you and Samoa Joe soon. I know everyone wants to see it.
And Doug Williams, don't forget, Doug Williams also lost in Boston. So both men coming off losses. Doug obviously lost his belt. Joe retaining his. It was a non-title match, but a lot of pride was on the stake there, and you know Joe was embarrassed as Joe backs Doug into the corner here.
Samoa Joe, he definitely doesn't seem like he has an ego, but he definitely has one, as you have to when you're on top of a promotion.
Everybody has an ego.
And it definitely has to hurt Samoa Joe's ego to lose a match like that against Homicide, and that might actually make him more aggressive in this match. We'll see as he pushes Williams off.
Oh, hey, Bauer, you talked to Dougie after this match. Tell him when he does cartwheels, he's supposed to get his hands up.
He got spiked through the mat on that sidewalk slam, and this one could be over early. Doug Williams has seen stars right now, and I'm not talking about Samoa Joe. And there's a cover. Gary Moore seeing the hand on the ropes. Good call by ref Gary Moore here. Samoa Joe still getting a 2 count, though. Samoa Joe now taking Doug Williams, snap pairs him over, chop to the back, kick to the chest, big knee to the face. I should note that some of you fans might be wondering why you hear that background noise. That's because there's some crazy hippie concert going on in a different part of the building. We're getting some of the noise over here in the Rexplex.
I think it's a revival.
Not sure what it is. All I know is that it can't match what we're witnessing in the ring right now between these 2 hard-hitting heavyweights. As Doug Williams goes down.
And a nice headbutt by the Samoan. You know they have the hardest heads in the pro wrestling world.
If you say so.
British people are pretty much known for not brushing their teeth, but here's a face wash for you, Doug Williams.
As Samoa Joe tries to knock some of those teeth out of the mouth of Doug Williams.
I don't think you can mess up Dougie's teeth any more than they already are. It looks like his tongue's in prison when he smiles.
Well, right now, Samoa Joe does have the respect of the fans. He is beloved by the ROH fans, and he is absolutely pummeling Doug Williams, as he could just be trying to wear down Williams with one stiff strike, kick, blow after another.
Nice front chancery applied by the champion.
That's another move that'll wear down your opponent. It's Doug Williams now taking Williams down. Excuse me, Samoa Joe taking Doug Williams down.
It's cliche, Bauer, but it is the champ's game. He's got a nice crossface on right here. You have to beat the champion. The champion doesn't have to beat you. Fortunately for Doug, that's not the kind of guy Samoa Joe is. Samoa Joe wants to win as much as you want to beat him. So he's an honorable champion. He's a fighting champion. Nobody knows that more than me. Nice sweep of the legs. Joe obviously scouted. He obviously didn't just come out before that match in Boston against Walters. He watched it, and Doug's leg could still be bothering from that match a month ago.
And Samoa Joe is coming up with a lot of counters for Doug Williams' moves, too. So he did do his research going into this one. And you know what time it is, CM Punk?
It's clobbering time?
It's ole ole time.
Clobbering time, so much cooler.
Samoa Joe blocks up against Mel with an enziguri. And he gets his face taken off by the ole ole kick. And look at the impact on the follow through. Bent that steel barricade in half. Can you imagine the impact it had on Doug Williams' face and head?
I think the Ring of Honor upper echelon, the brass, if you will, the management needs to start fining Joe for ruining these guardrails. They don't grow on trees, you know.
Did some money out of the pocket of ROH officials. Samoa Joe now taking his time, and he's got quite a sweat worked up there. Perhaps you did use that rope-a-dope technique on Samoa Joe, CM Punk, and it was effective to an extent. Maybe the same thing is happening right here. Samoa Joe is looking a little bit tired.
Well, you take a look at Doug Williams right now. You tell me who you think looks worse.
Yeah, Doug Williams is out on his feet.
Take a look at these two before the match, and you can tell Doug Williams looks worse, but it's another story. Rolling the man into the center of the ring, hook of the leg.
Uh-oh. Doug Williams could have very well been unconscious and been down for 3 seconds there. Somehow kicking out, perhaps just on instinct. Samoa Joe, though, taking his time and following up, and you think that the world champion would want to get this one over quickly, especially someone who knows so many holds and counter holds and pinning combinations as Doug Williams.
Doug Williams on Dream Street, out on his feet. That's not going to help either.
Samoa Joe just lighting up Doug Williams with those kicks to various parts of the body. Doug Williams is going to be sore all over from this one.
Nice double leg by Williams, but he doesn't have enough leverage to get Joe onto the mat. Pin his shoulders at least.
Williams struggling to get out of this.
Joe fighting the whole time.
Williams definitely knocked a little bit loopy. Oh. And Joe is just assaulting him at this point. Doug Williams has to start mounting some serious offense soon.
Lazy cover by the champion, and he gets kicked right in the mouth.
A headbutt by Samoa Joe. And now Williams showing some signs of life.
European uppercut only met by another slap by Samoa Joe. Joe holds on to the ropes.
Williams, though, kicks him off. Joe once again holding on to the ropes. Up and over goes Doug Williams. Oh, and he gets hit with another enziguri, another blow to the head.
That's a big enziguri.
There are no countouts in Ring of Honor in this type of match. But if you're on the floor for too long, you can't be disqualified. Doug Williams, though, taking his time now to take a breather, get some of those cobwebs out of his head, perhaps.
Smart move by the contender, by the challenger.
Doug Williams was hand selected by John Walters for this match. And he cuts Joe off from that tope, and now he's punishing Samoa Joe.
Big knee right to the underneath the chin of Joe.
All those knees connected. Fly body press, cover! Oh, the champion kicks out. And those knees could definitely stun you, followed by that cross body. That could have been it. The crowd glued to the ring chanting for Joe. High knee.
Doug needs to stop pandering to this crowd here. He just needs to go in for the kill.
And the world champion looks in trouble.
About almost a dozen European uppercuts.
Oh, Williams missing the knee though. Cover! Oh, the power slam.
Right to the Juji Gatami, but looks like Doug's holding on. No leverage.
Doug Williams clasping his hands together, keeping Joe from effectively applying the hold.
If Joe can separate his hands and extend that arm, it could be all over.
And look at Joe's face. He is struggling with everything he has, but Williams just has those fingers interlocked. And Gary Moore, great job making sure Doug Williams' shoulders were not down. Williams now trying to turn it over, and yes, he's in the ropes.
Turn it over to relieve the pressure and then grabs the ropes, assuring a break at least. Joe now to his feet.
And
Doug's still looking worse for wear here.
And this is the third of 3 great pure wrestling singles matches in a row that we've seen.
Powerbomb by Joe. Normally sets right up for an STF. A nice counter by Doug.
Doug doing his research, countering the STF, connected with a knee. Doug Williams loves those knees, and he usually goes for a high impact one off the top, and that's what he could be going for right here.
Calls it the bomb scare.
And he connects. Cover. New champion. Oh.
You gotta wonder if he hooked the leg on that, if he had a little bit more leverage. Could we have seen a new Ring of Honor champion?
And Doug Williams is getting an adrenaline rush. He's feeling it. He knows that belt is within grasp.
He's signaling for the Chaos Theory. There's going to be something if we see the champion dumped on his head via Chaos Theory.
There's no way Samoa Joe can kick out of a Chaos Theory.
Here we go.
He's going for it all. Joe holding on for his life.
Now Joe holding on for his belt.
And once again, Joe blocks it but misses the lariat. And Doug Williams in a sleeper hold. And he's got the legs wrapped around the torso of Samoa Joe. That neutralizes Samoa Joe's chances of going anywhere or getting to the ropes.
This is essentially what put Nigel McGuinness out.
And look at the look on the face of Samoa Joe. The world champion is fading. That's twice. One more time and we got a new world champion. The arm's dropping. Oh!
Now Joe's got something left in him. I don't know where he's getting it from. He manages to get out of the body vice and make it to the ropes.
Pure instinct from Samoa Joe.
I used everything in my match against Joe. Headlocks, sleepers. I tried to play the striking game with Joe. But one thing I did is I avoided his strikes. Doug's not doing such a great job of that right now in this match, but he's trying to tie up the champion in another submission hold.
And Joe fights out of it by going to the legs. Taking Doug Williams up in a torture rack. Williams with back elbows gets out of it. Williams falls down to the mat.
Both heavyweight fighters now fatigued.
Let's see Doug Williams pummeling him. Williams gets nailed with the lariat and somehow kicks out. And did you see the sweat go flying off the body of Doug Williams on that impact?
Amazing impact on that clothesline.
Samoa Joe, the world champion, unleashing the heavy artillery now.
Joe slapping himself in his face, perhaps trying to motivate himself. Sends Doug into the buckle. Meets an elbow for his troubles.
The challenger just won't quit. Oh, and Joe catches him off the ropes.
And puts him right back on the top rope. Big slap. Oh no.
He's got him up for that muscle buster. Muscle buster dangerous! And the world champion's going to enter his 19th month as champion.
How did Doug Williams kick out of that?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Punk.
The crowd, I can't believe it either. Neither can the crowd.
What's it gonna take? Oh, and Joe's frustrated. He is unleashing those slaps. Huge lariat. Another cover. And now it's just too much for Doug Williams. Samoa Joe adds another name to the list. Another victim. What a dominating world champion we have. Who will finally defeat Samoa Joe?
Like B.I.G. is. I'm the greatest of all times. I'ma say it just like Ali did. champion. I just wanna rock for a century, then chase the bull with the documentary. If you can't do nothing other than flow, life's a bitch like the motherfucker flow. Let's go, no need to put your heart in your lap. Up high, the beat, nigga, I'm pounding up, pumping the track. Hop out, even crispy, fresh and new. 6 minutes of being was Pepsi Blue. And I don't know you, but I know a man that comes prepared for all the shit that he gon' do. Y'all ain't fucking with Jason. After I cash in, there's really no justification of how I'm gonna change the game. So don't get out of line, cause it's no time to change the frame.
Ultimate endurance, and Moff and Glow wasting no time in slugging it out in this one. This is an elimination match with the Rottweilers of Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero, with Julius Smokes in their corner, the ROH Tag Team Champions. Then you have the Carnage crew of Logan DeVito, Jack Evans and Roderick Strong representing Generation Next, and of course Dan Moff and BJ Whitmer wrestling in their second match tonight as per Alice in Danger. And this match is an elimination. Each fall a different stipulation as Loke takes it to Moff. This first fall is a tap-out match. The second fall with the remaining 3 teams is a tag team scramble. And the final fall with the last 2 teams will be for the tag team titles.
3 kicks to the back of Danny Moff for the receipt for the one that he gave Loke earlier. You know, obviously Moff and Whitmer at a severe disadvantage. This is the second match they've had tonight, and they don't call this match Ultimate Endurance for nothing. You got to go the distance in this one. If you've already wrestled once, you're at a severe detriment.
Moff and Whitmer won the first ever Ultimate Endurance at World Title Classic, which is a match that everyone would have been talking about if it wasn't for that 60-minute World Title match. Oh! Roderick Strong unleashing that chop. In fact, they won all 3 falls of that Ultimate Endurance. Let's see if they can do it tonight to become the ROH Tag Team Champions. And Moff is pissed at Roderick Strong.
Moff's pissed he didn't wear like some kind of goggles into the ring right now because Strong went right for those eyes.
Ref Hansen obviously going with relaxed rules here, as this is not a scramble, this is a tap out. But Roderick Strong in with no tag, and he is unleashing the big chops on Moff. Hansen trying to get some control, telling Strong about the tag. Roderick Strong absolutely ignoring him. Wow. Moff just punishing Strong.
Is Moff friends with Special K or something like that? Is he getting revenge for Dixie?
Wow. Daisy Reyes and Romero avoiding the tag team champion. Smart move. No reason for them to be in this fall.
No reason for them to get these unnecessary chops by Danny Moff.
Reyes and Romero have nothing to gain and everything to lose until the final fall. And Moff absolutely destroyed Roderick Strong.
Punking him out with slaps to the face.
And there's the tag into DeVito. Roderick Strong getting out of there.
Yeah, but DeVito's not one to back down from a fight. He loves it.
Moff and Whitmer, they were teased with what it's like to be ROH Tag Team Champions at Round Robin Challenge 3, holding the belts for about an hour. You know they hunger for the belts, they want them back. But right now it's DeVito and Whitmer in a slugfest as the rivalry between the Carnage Crew and Moff and Whitmer continues to grow.
That'll cauliflower in here super quick. Bust a nose, knock out some teeth. It's not like you're going to make BJ any uglier.
As DeVito unleashing those cross faces. And right now, Brooke and DeVito definitely have the one-up in this rivalry as they defeated Moff and Whitmer, even with outside interference that they didn't even know about from Alice in Danger. And then they eliminated Moff and Whitmer from Scramble Cage Melee. Moff and Whitmer continued to brawl with the Carnage Crew, which caused the Carnage Crew to get eliminated and hit by a dive in Scramble Cage Melee.
Up and over by BJ.
The Northern Lights into the corner, but I believe that Ricky Reyes has indeed tagged himself in. Now he's going out of the Carnage Crew.
Very smart by the champions.
They're going to dish out some punishment on Whitmer.
The edge in the submission match definitely goes to the Pitbulls. Both are schooled in submission tactics. Both have wrestled in Japan and Mexico extensively. Nice scoop and a slam. And this is exactly what I was just talking about earlier.
And we got a triangle submission there in the arm. And Moff breaking it up. And you notice Reyes had his shoulders against the mat, and that is okay in a tap-out match as pinfalls do not count. The only way to win is to make your opponent submit. And notice that the champion tagged himself out as soon as he got in any kind of trouble. Smart move by the Rottweilers. Wow, beautiful kick by Jack Evans. Nice double team work by Generation Next.
You can't blink. You can't blink around that kid. Of course, if you did blink, you'd smell him coming from a mile away. But nice submission hold there by Roderick Strong, and he gets kicked right in the mouth by Danny Moff.
And you know that Moff is the only one in this match that would make the save for BJ Whitmer. What's going on here? Wow, what agility by Jack Evans, and now he's cock and smack. And Rocky Romero sees another opportunity, tags himself in.
He knocked the wind out of Jack Evans with that tag.
Notice that the tag team champions only tagging themselves in when BJ Whitmer is down.
Very smart, very cunning.
And there's a hammerlock. Another nice submission. Once again, Romero taking advantage of the fact that his shoulders can be on the mat. And once again, Dan Moff, the only one in this match that'll make the save there. And DeVito taking exception to it.
Well, he's got to make the save, or he's out of this match. And the fact that they already wrestled once really coming into play right now because they're already worn down.
Whitmer taking a lot of punishment. He needs to get out of there. As Lope now taking advantage of him. Right now, when you're dealing with Moff and Whitmer and the Carnage Crew in there, you're dealing with two of the toughest tag teams in ROH, two of the hardest hitting tag teams, two of the best brawling tag teams. As Moff teaching Generation Next a lesson.
Just picking them off the apron like they were flies.
And notice once again, Generation Next is a main event match, and the other members of Generation Next not at ringside. And this is with the tag titles on the line too. Whitmer now, desperation, catching low, takes him over in that exploder. Can Whitmer make the tag? And more importantly, will anybody accept the tag from Whitmer except for Dan Moff?
Well, if you're smart, you'll be like the Pitbulls. You'll try to distance yourself from the corner when you come in there. Yep, there you go. Moff and DeVito in now.
Moff, Fleeting House, a house of fire.
Oh, almost sandwiching Hansen in between him and Roderick Strong.
And Moff is going after everybody. And what an endorsement Moff and Whitmer received from Cactus Jack Mick Foley earlier tonight. Moff and Whitmer saving Foley from that attack. But right now everyone's on the floor.
Yeah, there's attacks going on the floor. Hansen's right in the thick of it too, trying to separate these men. Did he just get Beal thrown out of the ring by Moff?
Moff just flung Jack Evans over the top onto everybody. And Ref Hansen doing everything he can to keep control, but when you're dealing with these 8 individuals, that's going to be tough to do.
When the bodies are flying, you better believe Hansen's going to hide under the ring.
And now Luke and Dan Moff crawling on the floor. Everybody's outside. Everybody's fighting everywhere.
And Moff and Whitmer are just getting picked apart here now.
DeVito charges in on Moff on the shoulder block. Whitmer fighting with Luke in the ring. Luke back elbowing his way out of that exploder attempt. And now he's got a submission on Whitmer. And look at Luke shaking off that chair. Questionable whether the chair should be in play here. He's not going to be able to shake that one off. I don't think Ref Hansen saw the chair being used.
I hope Luke talked to his mom before this match. He might not ever talk to her again. That was one of the most brutal chair shots I've ever seen.
Dan Moff showing his frustrations there with the Carnage crew.
Moff can swing a chair, take it from me. Look at this, there's fighting everywhere. I want to see the fans start sucker punching other fans now.
We've seen chairs in play. We've seen Ref Hansen do everything possible to keep control. And to no avail though.
Julius Smoke's now taking his shots.
And now we have DeVito and Moff in the ring.
Oh, it looks like Whitmer's holding on to DeVito.
Yeah, DeVito. Oh, and there's a cannonball by Moff.
Good teamwork. But is it enough? Can they get a submission out of DeVito?
And they have DeVito now crouched on the outside. Jesus! What are they doing? Moff and Whitmer with chairs.
Hillbilly Jesus only knows.
And they went right after DeVito's bad knees. That is exactly what Masada did to DeVito on Generation Next. That caused DeVito to miss both of the June shows, except that was a double whammy on both of the knees.
Very impressive they can get a submission on out of DeVito now.
DeVito has those bad knees, and Moff and Whitmer have targeted him with the chairs. And that's Luke and DeVito's own move. And Rocky Romero making sure Luke's not around to make the save. And DeVito had no choice but to give. I've never seen DeVito tap in his life, and he just did. Those knees have to be in terrible shape. Moff and Whitmer need to use a chair on those knees of DeVito. The knee's already in bad shape. DeVito having to miss June with a knee injury, and Moff and Whitmer just might have re-aggravated that injury.
How many shows is he going to miss now?
And now Moff and Whitmer finally get a win over Luke and DeVito, though. But we are to the second fall tag team scramble rules. No tags needed. And there's one of those famous backbreakers by Roderick Strong on Whitmer, who's taken a ton of punishment in this. And Strong blocking the half Nelson suplex attempt.
He didn't block it that time.
And if I'm Reyes and Romero coming in now, and they might want to think about sitting this ball out. The ROH Tag Team Champions will go for double team work on Moff and Whitmer. There's a knee fall by Lariat with the leg.
Vintage pit bulls. You know, you gotta wonder, do you see DeVito missing shows earlier on this year? He could kiss his tag team titles goodbye, but you wonder how many shows he's gonna miss now. Jack Evans, nice springboard double drop kick. Everybody on the floor again, everybody fighting.
Oh, and DeVito needs help to the back. He can't even walk to the back on his own. Moff and Whitmer definitely dishing out an injury to DeVito there. And now they're clearing house on the outside. Jack Evans in the ring.
I feel bad for the referee in this contest. I wouldn't be shocked if this match got thrown out at this point.
And Jack Evans soars, but nobody's home. Moff and Whitmer saw it coming, and Jack Evans just crashed and burned.
It's called high risk for a reason.
Jack Evans, he might be susceptible to a pin right now as he landed hard on the floor. And this has been a wild fall, while the first one was a wild fall too. Lots of action in this Ultimate Endurance.
BJ directing traffic on the floor, telling Moff, yeah, it looks like he set him up for the burning hammer.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. And that'll be it for Jack Evans and Generation Next. That could easily snap your neck. And Moff and Whitmer are now, they have won 5 straight falls in Ultimate Endurance matches.
Pretty impressive. Now all they got to do is beat the champions.
Romero and Reyes, they have seen action in this match, but for the most part they are very well rested as they have not taken any punishment yet. Moff and Whitmer, on the other hand, though, have taken an extraordinary amount of punishment, especially Whitmer, and this is their second match and 4th fall of the night.
A lot of punishment from a lot of different people. Chicano, Slash Venom, both Pit Bulls, Half a Generation Next, the Carnage Crew. They expended a lot of energy cleaning this ring out of people trying to attack Mick Foley. Allison Danger's on their back.
You know, Allison Danger is enjoying this one. She is watching on the monitor, I'm sure. She wants to see Moff and Whitmer destroyed. She still owns their contract from the Prophecy days. That's why she signed them into these 2 tough matches tonight.
Looks like the Pit Bulls are going for divide and conquer.
And right now, and there you see Romero sporting a mouthpiece, flipping Moff right into the steel barricade right there. Reyes taking it to BJ Whitmer. Julius Smoke's watching on.
Julius Smoke's
cover in the ring.
He's like the demented captain of the Rottweilers. He's always there. He's screaming in your face, disrespecting you as you're getting your ass kicked.
Reyes and Romero came to ROH as the Havana Pit Bulls. They since joined the Rottweilers, and they won championship gold from UCM Punk and your partner, Colt Cabana. Can Reyes and Romero put together a title reign? So far, they are dominated and looking unbeatable. And who's going to put these guys down? It's not going to be Moff and Whitmer. Could it be the Briscoes when they finally return? The Briscoes, of course, still sitting out because they will not pay that fine. They can't afford to after that riot on the 8-7 show. We talked about that on the last show, Scramble Cage Melee. That's why Loki is out. He is also out because he refuses to pay the fine as a result of that riot.
Nice set of German suplexes by Ricky Reyes here. Third with a bridge, but no win.
And don't forget, Homicide is looking on. Homicide not in action tonight because he was in a car accident outside the ring. He's pretty banged up. He has a back problem from it, but he will be back in action soon.
Oh boy, I can't wait for that one.
Homicide, he paid the fine as a result of that riot. Julius Smokes paid the fine. Samoa Joe paid the fine. The Briscoes not able to afford it. That's why they aren't here tonight. Loki refusing to pay the fine. That's why he's not here tonight. And right now, Ref Hansen might want to think about stopping this. Moff and Whitmer are just helpless.
They have no energy left. It's almost like they've been just getting beaten up the whole entire night.
Oh, and there's that guillotine knee. And this could be all over. It's it. And Moff made the save for his partner.
Desperation out of Danny Moff. This one broke down as soon as it started. Ref needs to get some semblance of control here. Danny Moff shot to the floor again by Ricky Reyes. These Rottweilers are absolutely tenacious. It's almost like they sat out the first 2 falls and they just absolutely came alive here in the 3rd fall.
And they have taken no punishment in this fall. Meanwhile, Moff and Whitmer, they fought those guys from IWA Puerto Rico. Mick Foley heard his name called on the mic one time too often, came out, was attacked by a number of people. They made the save for him and were in action here. And now, after winning the first 2 falls of this Ultimate Endurance, they are taking a lot of punishment from these members of the Rottweilers, the ROH Tag Team Champions, Reyes and Romero. And there you see Moff helpless on the floor. Suplex by Romero on Whitmer inside.
Romero's almost working BJ like a kickbag here.
Oh, look at Moff. He is fighting back.
It's kind of ironic. I know kickbags were at higher IQs than BJ. Wow, this crowd all over the Rottweilers.
Well, Julius Smokes just got dumped with a huge backdrop on the floor by Moff. And Moff is getting that adrenaline rush. Moff and Whitmer, they know what it's like to be tag team champions, but they're just teased with it. They want those belts. Moff is feeling it. And he soars on Reyes, but also he crashed to burn the process. Whoa! explosion. That hammerlock, but Whitmer slams him into the corner. This crowd wants Moffett Whitmer to win the tag title.
Exploder!
He hits the exploder. Cover! Oh, the people thought that was it right there. They want Moffett Whitmer to win the belt. They can taste it. Moffett Whitmer can taste it. Moff down on the floor though, but he took out Reyes in the process.
Ooh, slugfest in the middle of the ring.
How much can Whitmer take though? But Romero has to be staggered from that exploder. And look at Whitmer, he's ready for the slugfest. What a tough individual.
He's exposing his knees and his elbows. He wants to hurt the Rottweilers now. He's trying to kill Romero.
Oh, and Romero using that quickness though. Oh, and how much can Whitmer take? Whitmer's been taking punishment the whole night. Oh, and that kick just caught Whitmer right in the back of the head. Oh, and a big knee strike right to the temple. Cover. And it was just too much for BJ Whitmer. And much to the dismay of this crowd, Romero and Reyes have retained the tag team titles.
What's she doing out here now? And why is she dressed for prom?
She is just demented.
It's September, for Christ's sake.
She's offering the Rottweilers money to put out Moffett Whitmer.
Didn't somebody drop a house on her?
I mean, Homicide gave her a cop killer, and now she's with the Rottweilers and offering them money to put out Moffett Whitmer. She blamed Moffett Whitmer for that cop killer. And I don't even think the crowd's cheering for Foley, but I don't think he's here. And here's Jimmy Raven printing out of the embassy. Moffett Whitmer cleaned house on them earlier, and they're back for revenge, and they might want some of that money too.
Nana's got all the money in the world. They just want revenge.
And now Generation Next hitting the ring. They were part of that attack where Moffett Whitmer cleared house too. In fact, that's what caused Shelley to hurt his arm. And they're coming for revenge.
They're just beating down Moffett Whitmer. Everybody's getting a piece.
It's just too many people. And it's Mick Foley with the fire extinguisher. Clearing house with that fire extinguisher. And that's got to be a tribute to the firemen right here on September 11th. I can't even see anything. There's all that dust in the ring.
All I see is that damn red thing that he always wears. Suplex on somebody.
And now is the only way to clear a ring of all these people. And Moffett Whitmer cleaning house once again with Mick Foley and Mick Foley's Ring of Hardcore. Here comes Roderick Strong. And he gets dumped on his head with that German.
Foley's directing traffic. They made the save on him earlier. He's making the save. He's returning the favor. Jimmy Rave left alone in the ring with Mick Foley.
And don't forget, Rave gave Foley a low blow. And Foley gets his revenge. With that trademark Mick Foley DDT as Glory by Honor 3 comes to a conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jimmy Bauer for CM Punk. Thank you for joining us. What a night here in New Jersey.
What's going on? Hey, are you guys ready for this promo?
Hey, shut up! Shut up! Everybody shut up! up.
Why are you yelling?
What is wrong with all of you?
Any of us.
First, you let Dunn and Marcos call me a hoe.
Yo, that was rough.
What is that? Hey, what's wrong? You better watch it. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
I get chopped.
Whatever. And then you guys lose again.
You guys did lose.
Come on. You guys are just such losers. And then why don't you go defend my honor, huh? Come on.
You have honor?
Go.
Talking about
Go kick their asses right now. They're taking down the ring right now. Go on. Dunn and Marcos. Come on. If you guys were real men.
Totally gone. You seriously need to just let them chill, man.
No. Come on. They called me a hoe.
It's Dunn and Marcos.
If you guys were real men. Come on. That's done. We're going. We're leaving.
Petty little teenage.
Tonight, we came up empty-handed, to say the least. We didn't get a single win, not one of us, which is pretty unlikely, given the fact that we usually win. In fact, we got our asses handed to us pretty good. Yeah, I can't move my left arm very well, and my chest is pretty sore. What about your chest? Yeah. Looks to be pretty sore. You guys, sore chest? Yeah. Tonight we got beat up pretty good. But aside from all the matches that sure we didn't win, tonight was a start of something else very, very important in Generation Next business. Tonight saw Steve Corino interject himself into our affairs. Well, Steve Corino, if you want to align yourself with the Second City Saints, well, that's fine and dandy. But I assure you, we are going to send you packing back to 01.
Second City Saints, we already took Hulkaban out. He's on the shelf. So you want to bring Steve Corino into the mix? That's just fine. You think some red marks on our chest is going to stop us? Well, not to sound cliche, but you guys have may have won the battle tonight, but the war has just begun.
They're totally disrespectful. They're the ring crew.
He's done.
Hey, come on, baby.
Come on. Guys, they're so done.
Go home.
I tell you.
Done.